It's a very, very busy 2-day event, I have to say. I mean, obviously, there is a tremendous amount of networking, really exciting opportunities to talk with colleagues, peers, friends, and others, new thought leaders perhaps that we're meeting at events like this. The general sessions are really well done in terms of they are not just didactic, they're conversations, there's lots of Q&A, very, very interesting. So you don't feel as though you're just sitting and observing, but rather participating. So it's an intensive. I mean, it's really, this year, I think we had a term in the agenda called masterclass. And I think it really is a masterclass that is, should be not missed. The key debates and points of discussion in the session this year had largely to do with where will the future take us? And are we up to the task of inventing the future, crafting it with all of the insights and knowledge and capabilities that we have today, not just in consumer healthcare, but in technology and in data and in other facets of the ecosystem? How can we put it all together and really do for consumers what self-care promises? To summarize our roundtable, which was also one of those very active and vibrant sessions, because we had very different points of view, but all the points of view converged around what we call digital care. So digital care is not digital marketing, it is not digital commerce. It's the idea of bringing care services around a product or a brand to add value or to use technology to implement labeling, as is called for in the ACNU rule. You know, this conference is always unique. Every year it's different, and I think that's because it's very, very tied to what's happening now. The agenda and even the title of the conference isn't something that's planned 5 years out. It's happening in real time. This is a real-time kind of event. And so we know as an industry in consumer healthcare, we're at a tipping point, and this conference reflected that. We heard messages along the lines of, moving from acute care in self-care to chronic, to prevention, and even to protective. Those are really exciting concepts. And this is a safe place. This conference gives everybody a safe place to exchange ideas and to learn from one another and, really sort of to re-energize as we go back out to move self-care forward. In terms of key takeaways, number one, 100% agree with Nicholas's closing comments, which is that, the future is in our hands. This is a time for architecture. This is a time for, taking vision and turning it into action plans. And that takes some thoughtfulness. That takes a step back and, the architecture of first a strategic framework and then the tactical frameworks that will follow. But if we do it well and we're up to the task, there is such an exciting future for self-care. The future of the self-care industry or consumer healthcare industry, I personally believe, is tied to all of healthcare. I know that, the products conventionally have been, distributed and sold and gotten into the hands of consumers through different means. We can do things differently in terms of advertising and marketing directly to consumer than perhaps other facets of healthcare. But in the end, it's the failure or the lack of resources in conventional healthcare that are going to force us all as consumers to be better at self-care. And that is the future that this industry can live into.